6:30, I will officially call the meeting to order. Is the meeting been properly posted and the roll been taken?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2 is pledge of allegiance. If we can stand for the pledge of allegiance, item in space will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you this evening for allowing us to gather and keeping us safe. And we ask you that you give us the wisdom so that when we make our decisions, we do the best that we can for our city and our residents. We ask everything that we do, everything that we look into, that we do it in your Son's holy name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Item number 3 are approval of the minutes from the January 17th meeting. No additions or corrections. I'd go ahead and entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'd like to make a motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 4 are communications. Communications this evening. No communications. We'll move on to item number 5, public comments. Citizens may address the chair at this point in the meeting. Please limit your comments to items that are on the agenda, but once for no more than 3 minutes. Are there anyone that wishes to make public comments relating to the agenda tonight? Or
I would like to address the Delbrook Golf Course Storage Building. Is that the proper time or not?
yeah, it's not on tonight's agenda, but I know that I personally have gotten a couple letters, and I think some of the other aldermen, if you wanna leave something with the clerk, I mean, there's other opportunities at committee. I know Golf Commission had talked about it, but we definitely welcome. It's just this portion of the meeting is related to any items that we're gonna take up. There's also, I mean, if you wanna stick around, we have kind of a short agenda. There's another area on the agenda for number 10 that you could make some public comments at that time.
Okay, I just have one short thing to read,
Okay.
so.
Thank you. Are there anyone that wishes to make public comments at this time on the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6, which are reports of committees, boards, commissions, and the Delavan School District. Item 6.1 is the Finance Committee and the financial report. Alderwoman Deschler Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Finance Committee met on February 14th at 5 o'clock. Our next meeting will be March 14th at 5. There are a few items on today's agenda. The minutes of the meeting are on file with the city clerk for public inspection. And at this time, I would go ahead and make a motion to approve the financial report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 6.2 is the General Operations Committee. Alderman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. General Operations met on February 7th, 2023. We changed the date of the April GOC meeting to Tuesday, April 11th at 5:30, after the finance meeting due to the spring election. Chief Hansen updated us on the police activities that included the hiring and sponsoring of the city's first academy student in over 30 years. The medics report has the monthly average rescues for 2022 at 93 calls. The average response time was 4 minutes and 10 seconds. The average total time for mutual aid was less than 67 minutes. Medics is able to provide coverage 91.8% of the time. We took delivery of the city's new ambulance, and the remaining GOC discussions will come up later in this business section of this meeting. The next GOC meeting will be April 11th at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderman Wilson. Item 6.3 is the planning commission. Alderman Beasley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The planning commission met February 6th. There's a number of items from that meeting that are on the agenda for tonight. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 6th at 5 p.m. And there's a joint meeting coming up with the planning commission scheduled for next month's common council meeting on March 21st. Meetings are on file with the clerk for public inspection if anybody is interested in seeing what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Beasley. Item 6.4 is public works committee. Alderwoman Destrom Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works met on January 24th, and again, just now at 5:30. Our next meeting will be on March 28th at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Destrom Brand. Item 6.5 is town of Delavan Lake committee. Alderman Beasley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Town of Delavan Lake Committee met on February 8th. They postponed the date a couple of days so that there would be more time for people to attend. The bulk of the meeting consisted of preparing for the dredging to resume. I believe that the dredging will be resuming in July. I'll get further clarification on that. There was some discussion as to whether or not that could resume earlier, but that's all based on the DNR's recommendations and requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Beasley. Item number 6.6 is the library board of trustees. Alderwoman Destrom Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Library Board of Trustees has met on January 19th and February 23rd since our last meeting. We discussed plans for the upcoming renovation and rebuild, and there is a related item on tonight's agenda. Our next meeting is March 16th at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Destrom Brand. Item 6.7 is the Parks and Recreation Commission. Alderman Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had the meeting last night about the Park and Rec, and we're just looking for sponsors and people for lifeguarding and stuff for coming up spring. Books are gonna go out. That's pretty much about it on that one.
Thank you, Alderman Purcell.
The next meeting will be the 27th of March.
Thank you. Item 6.8, Communications Commission. Alderman Solis.
We have not met since our last council meeting, Mr. Mayor, got nothing reported.
Thank you, Alderman Solis. 6.9 is the Delavan Downtown Project Management Team. Alderwoman Destrom Brand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on January 24th. We discussed the calendar of events for the 2023 year here, and our next meeting will be April 25th at 7.
Thank you, Alderwoman Destrom Brand. Item 6.10 is the Delbrook Golf Commission. Alderman Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did not make the meeting last month for the golf outing, but we do have a new meeting the 16th of March at 5 o'clock. And I just got a memo in here about a building that they're talking about, which that will be discussed on the 16th of March. And I believe next week they're gonna be open from 9 to 3 on people that wanna go and get their golf passes and licenses and all that. That's all we know about now.
Thank you, Alderman Purcell. Item 6.11 is the Tourism Commission. Alderman Solis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on February 13th here at the Chambers. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 13th at 5 p.m. Items of discussions for that, we got banners coming up in the city. We discussed some of the new banners that are coming up. Also, one of the things that we had a change in the digital, the company that we're working with before. So our new Chamber of Commerce Director is gonna be updating us on the analytics of the new data that comes out in our next meeting. So anybody who wants to come along, it's definitely close off the tourism habit.
Thank you, Alderman Solis. Item 6.12 is the Delavan Dairy and School District update. I don't believe we've got an update this evening. So we'll move on to item number 7, the planning issues that came before the planning commission. Item 7.1 is consider a single lot land redivision request by certified survey map CSM to combine the 4 tax parcels at 820 East Wisconsin Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the CSM to combine the current 4 tax parcel into one single parcel, along with an easement for the existing public storm sewer line that crosses the eastern portion of the parcel.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 8 are issues that came before the Finance Committee. 8.1 is consider the purchase from Walworth County Treasurer of tax foreclosure property on North 4th Street.
I would make a motion to authorize the city staff to submit a draft IGA to the Walworth County Treasurer for the purchase of the vacant parcel at 215 North 4th Street.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderman Purcell,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dashner Brandt,
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer,
Yes.
Alderman Solis.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.2 is consider the sanitary sewer spot repairs from Reisman's Excavating at a cost of $45,591.
I would go ahead and make a motion to approve sanitary sewer spot repairs from Reason's Excavating at a cost of $45,951.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderwoman Dashner Brandt.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Alderman Solis.
Yes.
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.3 is consider an architectural services agreement with FEH Design for the renovation and expansion of the Aaron Public Library.
I would go ahead and make a motion to approve the architectural service agreement with a FEH Design for the library project with 2023 costs be covered by SIP fund balance, subject to the terms of the letter of understanding between the city of Delavan Aaron Public Library Foundation. I know Michelle's here if anybody has questions.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I just,
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say that this past week we had a international visual artist visit the library. I think that this is great that the library is continuing to move forward with expansion. That visitor that we had a beautiful pictures. People came in and out during that day. I know Michelle was very happy. Some of the citizens got to experience an artist that came, international artist that came and brought his work and displayed it out here. Just kind of shows what is in store for the future of the library, and that this is exciting. So I just wanted to give thanks to Michelle that did a great job out there hosting this event, and hopefully one of many to come.
thank you. And yeah, I had an opportunity to attend that, so it was very well attended and nice to see. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, my son has recently expressed a great deal of joy finding out that the library offers a seed exchange. Seeing as it is now planting season and flowers and vegetables, it's time to get those balls rolling. And he now has a brand new library card and he's looking forward to going and checking books out and doing other things like that. The library is growing and our youth are still using it.
Wonderful. And I know, each of the aldermen on the council have the memo, but obviously this is a big project and long-term, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Brian, maybe you can, for those that are maybe watching at home, you could just hit on the high points of what that understanding is, so that people are watching at home and those in attendance have a little better understanding.
Well, let's see, just to pull up the details here. Basically, this contract is with FEH Design to do the design services for the library project. The design estimate for the total cost, so this is everything from the design of the building through, furniture and fixtures, this is for preparation of bid documents, this is construction and, services that they do while it's under construction. Basically, they're with us from design through the end of the project. Total of that is $802,274. I'm sorry, no. That was what we budgeted this year for professional services and site prep. The total agreement with FEH is $769,707 plus there'll be a fee for furniture design based upon the final bids and estimated reimbursable expenses of $3380 total. The, basically, what we decided to do was, or what I asked that the finance committee consider, is because we have a large fund balance right now in capital, to pay for the costs that come out this year, which will only be a portion of these total costs, pay that out of the fund balance. Meanwhile, the library foundation will invest their funds because they're, based on what they were telling me, their treasurer was telling me they can get a slightly better interest rate on a 9-month CD than what we're getting right now out of our interest checking. So let them invest that until we need the funds, and basically, once we get into the construction process, then we would basically give them, according to this letter, 90-day notice, and then they would start giving us cash from that, which we would use to replenish our capital funds. This is part of our required match with the USDA loan. Locally, we're supposed to put up $2 million and then need to spend first. So this is part of that. And if for some reason, due to, let's say, bids coming high and we would delay starting for a period of time, at least this way, for the peace of mind of those who've donated to the project or who have pending pledges that are still coming in, we're not spending the donated funds until we actually start construction. And that way, you know, they don't start getting concerned that, okay, you've spent, most of the donated funds on the design, but you haven't started construction yet. So if there was a delay on that, I thought this would be a better way to go. I've seen that with some communities, I won't name it here. They did that same thing. They went through a whole design process and then things changed politically. And then next thing you know, everybody was pulling their donations back because they were upset. So we don't want to run into any problems. So I'm just thinking we spend right now from our capital balance just to get the design done, and then we replenish it.
Thank you, Brian. I think that's important. Stuff that we talked, obviously, at finance, but I think those watching again at home and sitting here tonight can see the continued cooperation for one, but it just is sound advice them to go this route. So any other discussion? Seeing,
No,
hearing,
thank you, Brian.
otherwise, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 8.4, our approval of the bills.
I would make a motion to approve warrant 2023-01.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 9 are issues that came before the General Operations Committee. 9.1 is consider an ordinance amending the time frame for on-street parking along the north side of East Wisconsin Street between 7th Street and 8th Street as listed in Code Section 10-1-28.
I move to adopt the proposed ordinance amending the time limitations listed in the municipal code section 10-1-28 on this on-street parking along the north side of East Wisconsin Street, east of 7th Street, allowing for no more than 4 consecutive hours between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. and no parking between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. and for 2 15-minute parking stalls near 7th Street.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Item number 9.2 is consider changes to the existing on-street parking restrictions along North Terrace Street listed in section 10-1-27 of the municipal code.
I move to approve the proposed ordinance amending section 10-1-227 to prohibit on-street parking along the west side of North Terrace Street from McDowell Street to Northern City maintenance limits.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Item number 9.3 is consider clarification of the snow removal notification language in code section 6-2-7, parent B, parent 2.
I move to approve the proposed ordinance amending Title 6, Chapter 2, Section 7, Parent B, Parent 2.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 10 are public comments. Citizens may address the chair at this point of the meeting. Just please limit your comments to once for 2 minutes maximum. And I would just ask, this is a good time for you to come forward. If you could just state your name and address for the record.
Yes. My name is Linda Roller. I live at 114 Eagle Point Drive, where we have lived for 8 years. My husband and I have a beautiful view of Delbrook Golf Course, and we see stunning sunsets now. I first noticed several white flags outside our living room window a few days ago. Googling, what do white flags mean? I discovered what I thought it might mean, excavation. So I decided to read more closely the City of Delavan updates notification from the Common Council. In that email, I found the Delbrook Golf Commission report on recent meetings from February 16th, 2023. In the staff report of February 16th, the background supporting data stated, Superintendent Dace has indicated that additional storage is needed for equipment and supplies. The 40 by 30 foot building would be located behind the current maintenance building. Continuing on, it states, in consultation with the Public Works Director and Building Inspector, the preferred location would be on the hill in that area. That change would put it directly between our condos and the golf course. We at Eagle Point urge the Delbrook Golf Commission and the Common Council to open communications with Eagle Point Condo Association Board to find a suitable place for the maintenance building, one that would not affect the view or adversely affect the property values of 10 homeowners in buildings 114 and 110. Directly, all of Eagle Point would be affected. Eagle Point Condo Association President Scott Zimmerman stated in his email to me, the city and golf course have not had any conversations with Eagle Point Condo Association regarding the addition of an additional steel pole building near the Eagle Point boundary, end quote. Communication between Eagle Point and Delbrook Golf Course has been important and effective in the past. We urge you to open those communications again and work to find an alternative place for that maintenance building. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. And as I shared earlier, I know I've gotten a couple letters, I think others have heard, so thank you for sharing your comments this evening. Any other public comments at this time? Hearing none. Item number 11 are suggested future agenda items. Are there any suggested future agenda items at this time? If not, as I've often said, feel free to let myself or city administrator, city clerk, know in advance, and we're happy to add items to the agenda for future discussion. With that then, item number 12 is recess to closed session 12.1 pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 5, parent 1, parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session regarding the sale of city-owned property on 600 block of Ann Street, purchase of property on Racine Street for stormwater management, and remaining in closed session under item 12.2 pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1, parent C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility regarding the city administrator performance evaluation. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beezer.
Yes.
Alderman Solis.
Yes.
Alderman Purcell.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dexter Brand.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll take a brief recess and go